looks maxing video. So I actually saved this one specifically, right? Because at the end of the day, it's by Ed, right? But it's a male person, right? It's actually a person who is a male that is actually talking about the looks maxing, like propaganda, looks maxing. I just feel like that specific concept of just looks maxing is fake. It's not real. I've seen some of the comment section specifically on the video in general. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of the comment, at least some of the comments anyway, not all of them, right? There are some comments that are pretty reasonable on my last video for looks maxing, how I literally said that, just work on yourself, get yourself a new skincare routine, fucking work out a little bit, fucking eat a better diet, try to do things that you can change yourself at the end of the day. And if you don't want to change yourself, well, at the end of the day, you're just going to be miserable for the rest of your life, and you're going to be doom scrolling on Twitter for the rest of your life, and you're just going to sit there and complain and be like, why no women love me? Oh, why no this? Why no that? Well, because, you're not really taking care of yourself at the end of the day. The pop in the code vein 2 is crazy. I have to do a double look around the area to not miss out on any loot. I told you the pop in code vein 2 is there was an enemy that's literally just popped out of nowhere in code vein 2, and I was just kind of like, what the hell? So I have to edit the second VOD for that one, but yeah. But anyways, we're going to take a look at Ed. I'd be curious to see what this video is about. It says, looks maxing has ruined your personality. And that's the reason why I hate these looks maxing people. Because it actually just generally does ruin your personality at the end of the day. Plus also at the same time, it's all fake. It's a fake concept. It's all fake at the end of the day. So your mom is always the problem every single night. So I'm curious to see what this video is about.
Morning, welcome back, you person with a face. Lean back, don't stand too close, you might end up getting mogged. By this video, sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that helps entrepreneurs, growing businesses, and everything in between stand out online. Build a website exactly the way you want, and take your business ventures to the next level. As an Asian child with stunted emotional development, words of affirmation aren't usually my thing. I like my affection shown in the forms of a thumbs up, or with a plate of cut up fruit. Although, hearing the words, you look good from time to time, damn. Don't be too surprised if I start kicking my feet, twirling my hair, and blushing. Stop. This compliment is just an all-around crowd pleaser that would make anyone's day, especially when they put time and effort into looking their best. Yeah. Hey, if Stanley Tucci gave me the full-on movie makeover montage treatment, where I'm all dolled up, ready to hit the town while wearing the Chanel boots? Yeah, I am. Hell yeah, I'm expecting Giselle Bundchen with glasses to look at me and say,
"You look good."
Unfortunately, not everyone's a main character who's best friends with a personal stylist with free access to high-end clothes. Good thing the internet exists, where you can learn pretty much anything for free. But free doesn't always mean good. Looks maxing communities had a huge surge in popularity a while ago, where you can learn how to optimize your physical appearance using different methods, typically recommended by conventionally attractive hotties who won the genetic lottery. It'd be your usual start a skincare routine, exercise, get a hairstyle that fits your face shape, but rebranded with an American Psycho type of vibe. We don't put on moisturizers or go to the hair salon, we skin max, body max, as we evolve into a Terra Chad with low cortisol levels. Ew. A string of words in the English language that has not existed till this day. The looks maxing trend did die down for a bit. I think people were able to see the good and the bad these communities were doing, specifically to young men. Good that it was teaching people better grooming habits, bad that it only focused on outer appearance with some bullying on the side. But looks maxing seems to have had a resurgence recently, and it's worse than ever. Balls. Here we go again for real. Everyone working on their body tea rebrand this year. The only branding I know is when you make your own website. Using Squarespace, they really perfected this design intelligence thing. With 2 decades worth of industry experience behind their creation tools, it's easier than ever creating the perfect look for your brand. Since everything is based on your own vision, the final product is a personalized website tailored to whatever you need. And not to worry if you're not super creative, they Afterpay and more. Check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/advanced Invasion to save 10% off your first purchase of a website
That's
or
crazy.
domain. Thanks to anyone being able to say anything these days, content creators with questionable morals are gaining huge followings because of their looks maxing methods. AI slop keeps spreading misinformation all over the web. Improving your looks is just brain rot activities now, turning people into Uncanny Valley JoJo characters who don't know how to socialize. Clavicular got mocked by an—
Oh my god, yes. Thank god this guy's gonna be talking about it. I can't wait to hear this guy's opinion on the whole thing. So far, it's definitely, he's definitely saying like, yeah, that's nice and all that you're working on your looks and everything. That's good and everything. But your personality is dog shit, so. Which is true at the end of the day.
Other looks maxer, and his cortisol levels went to the moon. Sure, whatever man, everyone chopped in the head. In case you didn't know, looks maxing refers to the active focus on improving one's physical appearance to its highest potential. Looks maxing can refer to a lifestyle, an activity, or self-care routine, or an entire community that prioritizes maximizing outer beauty. The lore around this term actually dates back to incel forums from the 2010s, where young frustrated guys would vent about how women always gravitate towards conventionally attractive men, no matter how bad they were treated. Okay, not a very nuanced way of thinking. Have you considered the fact you sit in front of a computer all day and haven't showered in 42 hours? Life isn't always a 90s high school movie where all the cheerleaders throw themselves at muscular jocks on the football team, who don't even make good bullies, by the way.
Doyle rules. Thanks a lot, old Doyle. Nice meeting you.
But maybe there's a touch of truth to their incel beliefs. Attractiveness can get you pretty far in life, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But man, I've seen people ignore every single red flag on the planet just because their date looks like a knockoff version of Henry Cavill. So there's this DL trade who slaps me around and steals from my purse. Yeah, but at least he's 6 feet with a square jaw and a full head of hair. Kinda like Henry Cavill if he worked in Walmart. The looks maxing community believes that attractiveness equals status. Those with
Thank god I haven't seen a single person. Literally, the best part, okay, the one thing I have to say that the best thing about it, where I specifically live, everyone's normal. No one is fucking looks maxing over here. Thank god, to be honest.
looks are rewarded with women, jobs, friendship, and social acceptance. Those deemed ugly by society are bitchless and ignored. So looks maxing began as a way for these men to try and improve their looks and therefore their status in society by turning into clones of the exact same chads they despised, using their own form of incel beauty standards. So they can take revenge on the Stacys of the world and recreate this exact scenario. Tails from Sonic? What are you doing here? So those were the old primitive roots of looks maxing. Once we became modernized with the YouTubes, TikToks, and short form content, these trends eventually became repackaged as young men's wellness content portrayed as self-help with a sprinkle of toxicity. Let me ask you this, what does every brain-rotted activity need? Slang. Don't worry if you're already confused, here's a quick rundown on some important stuff. A normie is your typical average dude who's attempting to looks max into a chad. The ideal masculine man all the guys idolize, who will then attract the ideal woman called a Stacy, who are always on the prowl for a chad, who will sometimes go for the average girl called a Becky, who usually ends up with a normie. Okay, this world building is giving Omegaverse fanfiction writers a run for their money.
I remember this specifically. This specific like thing in general, you know, I remember this. I was like, at the end of the day, right? They try to impress this girl, right? But unfortunately, they're attracting this girl, but they specifically don't want this girl. They want this girl, but then this girl just only wants a normal dude. You see the concept of that specifically? It's like they try so hard to be this, to try to impress this, but attracts this instead.
Mog or mogging is a verb meaning to overshadow or best someone, especially in regards to aesthetic or physical attributes. Soft maxing means simple grooming, skincare, exercise, and style changes. Hard maxing is going more extreme, with cosmetic surgery, drugs, and dangerous DIY practices.
Oh
Should be
jeez.
starting to bruise a little bit just from those hits, right?
This all
Jeez. I remember that. Just do the easy, simple stuff, you know. Don't even go for plastic surgery. Hey man, if you want to do it, be my guest. But at the end of the day, that's just something that you do fake for yourself. That's fake. You know, it's not even real. That's not even your real looks, anyways.
leads to the looks maxing community's unofficial, unscientific guide to calculate beauty, the PSL scale.
The
Pumpkin
what?
spice latte? No. Perceived sexual level scale? Duh.
The what?
This is their favorite reference point to use when judging if someone's face is cooked or not. The scale uses objective and scientific ratings to calculate your attractiveness based on things like facial harmony,
The what? This is so dumb.
symmetry, sexual dimorphism, and the unique qualities to your face. I'm sure you've seen the videos of looksmaxers showing off their well-defined Chad jaws and unfriendly hunter eyes with positive canthal tilt. These two facial features, in this specific font only, are considered the most important since they're associated with masculinity and success. They're so obsessed with achieving that handsome
Sorry. I like traps and femboys a lot more, to be honest. I like femboys and traps a lot more. They're just more better.
Squidward aesthetic. They have forums where you can post your selfie and people will measure your eye angle to the exact degree. This is what it looks like. Peak looks maxing.
Oh, jeez.
Actually, according to the PSL scale, Squidward's eyes are too round and delicate, low tier normie at best. Any other facial features that stray from the strict beauty standard, like downturned eyes, a round fuller face, recessed chins, are considered feminine and weak. There's no room for different types of faces. Everyone's gotta resemble a
That is
JoJo
so
character
dumb,
reject,
dude.
standing at a
What the
manly
fuck,
8 feet
dude?
tall.
What?
Speaking of anime characters with absurd looking physiques, the PSL tier list looks like it came straight from a Dragon Ball Z character selection screen. From a scale of 0 to 8, you got your normies at 4, right in the middle. The common everyday person who's nothing.
Normies, your average guys, unremarkable, lacks sex appeal or aesthetics, often both, will rarely be lusted after, will never be a girl's first choice, will not be able to slay in clubs. Normies are required to LTR in what the fuck does LTR stand for? In order to get sex with below average girls unless he has status or money. This guy looks fine. This guy looks fine as well. This guy looks fine as well, you know? Like, good lord. You want to know something? They say they lack sex appeal or aestheticness. You want to know something? I'm gonna give you the best reference of, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. This guy would probably destroy this entire list. Because you want to know something? He's a normal looking guy. And we call him Mr. Libido Man, who has the most catastrophic, unsupernatural fucking levels of libido that can destroy any of these guys with any girl, to be honest. So, legit, straight up, Mr. Libido Man can put this entire list to shame, to be honest. Literally, even the guys that are up at the top of the list, the looks maxers, they ain't got shit against in bed. That's all I gotta say.
Special and as milquetoast as you can get. They make up 50% of the population. As you get higher on the scale, you get to see the Chad get hotter with every Pokemon evolution. Starting with the Chad Light
5.5 PSL? 4.5 PSL human?
5. With a decent amount of attractiveness, they can use their appearance to launch a modeling career or get followers on social media. Makes up 5% of the population. The infamous Chad 6, with looks that give them
High tier normie 15th and 2/2 percentile? Chad light? Chad?
an extreme advantage in various aspects of their lives, especially when it comes to attracting women. Makes up 0.1% of the population. Giga Chad 7, almost perfect specimens who make up 0.001% of the population.
So let me see. Giga Chat, worldwide moggers who slay anything and anyone in their path. You will probably never see a man of this tier in your life, a different species entirely. Yeah, but I bet you they suck in bed. That's all I gotta say. Like I said, Mr. Libido Man can destroy this entire list specifically. Like, no joke. They cannot keep up with Mr. Libido Man. The genetic elites, these guys will mog every man they encounter in everyday life. They will be the best looking in any venue or event, the best in any town or even city. Girls will throw themselves at them. You may see a guy like this once every 6 to 12 months. I prefer not to see these kinds of guys personally, you know? They won't last 30 seconds, unlike Libido Man. Libido Man can last hours compared to these guys. Because remember, right? These guys take drugs, okay? They take like steroids, they take drugs, they take all this other shit. Mr. Libido Man is all natural and he can go on for hours, okay? He can go on for hours. This list was probably made by a guy. The amount of glazing, yeah, you know, like I said, the guys aren't beating the gay allegation at the end of the day. It just means, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. People who do the looks maxing thing, I'm gonna say you guys are gay as fuck. That's all I gotta say. You guys are making tier lists out of hot guys, okay? And I thought that was a girl thing. But apparently you guys make it far worse than it needs to be. You guys are not beating the gay allegation. It just proves that you guys are gay, okay? It literally straight up just makes me think that you guys are just straight up gay at this point, okay? You're just not saying it.
And finally, the elusive TerraChat 8. Mythical, unattainable perfection, universal attractiveness to every woman worldwide.
Geez.
They make up 0% of the population.
Wow, everyone's so creative. This ranking system they made to rank people's attractiveness has a tier that's not even achievable. If you ask the looks maxers what tier some of the most good looking men in the world would be in,
they'll probably put them at a 4, cause their face doesn't look like it's been carved out with a stone block.
Fellas, is it gay to have a normal looking face? One of the main goals of looks maxing is to attract women, right? Ladies, do all of you want to be with someone who looks like they're about to push you down the stairs?
No, I don't. No, thank you. These are not the kind of guys that I am attracted to.
Unfortunately, according to this tier list, if you're deemed anything under a 4, you might as well give up now.
At a low tier normie 3, your below average looks and unattractiveness will warrant bullying from others. A true cell 2 is so intrinsically ugly that no amount of surgery, exercise, weight loss, or any other form of self-improvement could ever make them more desirable.
Then you got your saint
What the
tier
hell? I just saw I show speed on there.
1s and subhuman 0s. These are too offensive to even talk about. Anyways, can't wait till I take a trip
That's
to Turkey
gay.
and come back as a TerraChat 8, looking like I'm smuggling a brick with
What
my
the
mouth.
fuck is
Okay, so this
that?
PSL scale claims to be scientific, right? Then where are the studies? The science? The research? Well, that's the thing. PSL calculations are mostly based on vibes. As much as it claims to be objective,
It's all about the vibes, chat. It's always about the vibes. Of course, there's no scientific proof. They're just talking bullshit out of their ass. I'm gonna make fun of them because they're funny as fuck to make fun of. Because they're so self-conscious. That's why. I personally don't care if they try to dislike bomb my video, because I've seen my last video got dislike bomb or so. Like it has some few people that got salty or so, because at the end of the day, the people who are calling these behaviors out are correct, and the people who are following to be looks maxers are incorrect at the end of the day. They're honestly just incorrect.
and scientific, it's just observational pseudoscience.
As the University of Portsmouth paper describes, looksmaxers attempt to validate the scale by using alleged scientific findings, including dating application surveys, misinterpreted academic research, and pseudoscientific graphs or data of questionable origin and accuracy, thereby presenting it as a scientific ideal.
It's like a messed up game of medical telephone, where no one actually has the credentials to be giving advice. A young teen follows a famous creator who makes looksmaxing content, who probably got his information from a Reddit thread, which
If I see my child, especially my little boy, following these looksmaxers things, I'm gonna beat him upside the head for following these things.
well could have been a repost of outdated information from 10 years ago someone just made up. Looksmaxers do have a general outline of how you need to look to rank high on the PSL scale, but no two sources on PSL ever have the same statistics or definitions. Like those videos assigning PSL ratings to celebrities' faces, it's always different and just based on vibes and whatever they've seen on the internet. You ever
I'll give him a looks maxing, alright, with a belt to the face. That's the one that I'll give him.
notice in looksmaxing ranking videos where they rate facial features, the ones rated at the top are kind of... they're always the same. The ones you'd see on famous male model,
Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, if I see my son beating his like face or so with like a trophy or something like that, I'd be like, you want your face be beaten in? I'll show you. I will show you your face being beaten in a second. I'll just do the noise or so with a belt or so and just kind of like, you know, I'll just do that.
Barrett, whose pictures get circulated a lot within the looksmaxing community as the ideal face, but they still don't consider him a terror chad. Eurocentric facial features are almost always at the top, while others...
What, your nose shape? A Greek? Turnip? A snub? A flat? Roman? Fleshy? Man, these terms are so weird. No, I don't know what that is.
Let's just say there's an entire race of people who have this hair, who don't get sunburned easily. Who even decided on these rankings? A 12-year-old? Well, yes, curry hair. Didn't know this ranking video was also a bad Yelp review on an Indian restaurant where someone found some hair in their food. Curry hair.
Curry
8 out of
hair.
10. A professional looksmaxer isn't a real job title, it's an attractive guy who fits the beauty standard, making beauty tutorials for guys. Michelle Phan for men, but toxic. And since we're not the best at fact-checking when scrolling through our feeds, it's very easy for rage bait to go viral. Literally anyone with a phone and access to AI can churn out slop like this. What do you think the comments are gonna be like when this type of eye gets rated as the second highest?
Your eye type? Jesus Christ. All cooked. Asian features only look decent on women. So brutal. Their sisters are not virgins, but they are probably KV. KV? What's KV? What is that? Going to the gym, taking a shower, and taking care of your hair isn't enough for these guys. You know, like I said, just change your diet, you know, maybe you're a little bit pungent, you know, maybe work out just a little bit, you know, keep yourself in tone, you know, don't let yourself go, you know, maybe get a new hairstyle, get some new clothing, you know, get a new facial routine, you know, just kind of like, you know, just anything in general, just work on the things that you can do at the end of the day, you know, so. It's like the Korean beauty standards, but even more ridiculous. It's toxic. It's so toxic because it's a lot of young boys are so getting like, literally a lot of young boys are just getting like, I guess brainwashed with this specific concept that like the reason why, you know, the reason why they can't get women or so, well, number one, they keep going after the stupid, dumb, bitchy bimbos at the end of the day. So, and that's just kind of like, you know, I'm like, why are you trying to go after those women, you know? It just feels like that specific mentality of like young guys in general who like they think like they have to get the hottest girl in the world or something like that, you know? Your taste changes when you get older, you know? You start thinking and be like, oh man, thicker women are a lot more better instead of like, you know, skinnier women, or like, you know, maybe you're not into curvy women, you know, maybe some don't like big boobas, you know, some of them don't, some of them do. It's just like, maybe I like, you know, maybe they like the small type of girls, maybe they like the big, thick, tall girls, you know. It all really does change the later in life that you get, you know.
Okay, I know I'm no Giga Chat or anything, but damn, couldn't you get your point across without slipping some extra E into my coffee? My lips have never looked more luscious. As with anything beauty industry related, looks maxing capitalizes on people's insecurities. Those websites where you pay to get a professional facial analysis will always try to turn you into a version of yourself you can never achieve. Unless you take a trip to Dr. Miami's house and ask him for the Chad special, which is basically a whole new face structure.
Paid for a facial analysis to see how I could, look better, and just look at what I got. Who is that? This is me. Who is this, bro? They clipped my ears, okay? Eyebrows are the same. Gave me a beard, made my ears small. I didn't know I looked like Dumbo.
Unless you're willing to go under the knife, some facial features are stuck with you till the day you die. There's a lot to question about looks maxing techniques and how effective they actually are. More often than not, it's guys who fit the looks maxing beauty standard showing others how they achieve their level 7 GigaChat status by mewing and bone smashing. You can trust that it works based on the drastic before and after pictures they like to share of their old face from 5 years ago versus their new face. A lot of the content doesn't really go in depth about the science of why these looks maxing techniques work. It's just inspirational Sigma music on top of a montage of their appearance changing over the years, skipping over the hard work part straight to the results. Or it'll be the same talking points regurgitated from every other looks maxing content creator of why you need to start chewing on tires to work out your jaw. Did these people actually change their entire face structure without any plastic surgery? Or did they just lose weight and start taking better care of themselves as their faces got older, while picking up some new flattering selfie angles along the way? Take mewing for instance, the foundation of Chad jaws all around the world. Mewing involves pressing the tongue against the roof of the mouth. The theory is that consistent tongue posture can gradually influence the shape and structure of the jaw, resulting in a more angular and desirable jawline. Some even claim mewing has helped them treat their sleep apnea.
Oh, my man. You know what this reminds me of? Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it or so. Let's see. Let me see. Hold on. You know who he reminds me of? Literally straight up looks like the dude from fucking Army Man. Oh my god, dude, that is so that's so bad. Oh my god, dude. Oh Jesus. It literally just straight up just looks like the dude from this video game, man. That's crazy.
Speech disorders and sinusitis.
The only difference between a supermodel and a normal person is tongue posture. It sounds nuts, it sounds crazy, but I transformed my face from this to this. I fixed my asymmetry, my overbite, expanded my jaw, developed my face upwards and forwards, balanced out my sleep apnea, fixed my posture, and changed everything from the inside out. And the main key driver was proper tongue posture.
Can mewing also cure my crippling depression and overdrawn bank account? No wonder cats be chilling like that.
This one has a little sweetness to it.
You'll never see a looks maxer not mention mewing at least once during their whole spiel.
Mewing. Mewing is dope, and it's actually required during development. If you have improper tongue posture and improper breathing habits,
improper tongue posture and improper breathing habits. The only improper breathing habits that I've heard of or so is breathing from the mouth. That is literally the only thing I've heard of that you should not be doing, is breathing from your mouth in general. That's the one thing I heard of, But tongue posture, I didn't even know that you could even have your tongue in an incorrect posture to begin with, to be honest. That just sounds so fucking ridiculous to hear, dude. Holy shit, dude. I feel like I'm losing brain cells listening to these ridiculous guys.
then you're not going to develop correctly. You could have the best parents in the world, best genetics, but if you've got horrible habits, you won't develop into the best version of yourself. So definitely dope.
This term is so well known because of the looks maxing community, you'll even see mid-tier normies on mainstream media talking about it. Uh-oh, I can't stop with the accent.
The crossing of two different worlds, the last thing I want to see is someone my dad's age trying to mog his coworker while explaining what 6'7" means. Alright, so if mewing is this magic cure-all, why do we still have sleep apnea, speech disorders, and sinusitis? The term mewing was coined by, appropriately named, John Mew, who believed in the idea of orthotropics, not to be confused with orthodontics, you know, your braces and dentistry work with centuries of proven research behind it. Orthotropics. What is this, a drink?
What is
An alternative
this?
medicine approach focused around the mouth and jaw. They believe you can guide natural facial and jaw growth in children by focusing on oral posture using your tongue, mouth, and head position. Alright, can't make a breakthrough in medicine without trying something new. Maybe he's about to find a better way to fix teeth without braces. Well, according to an official statement from the American Association of Orthodontists, scientific evidence supporting mewing's jawline sculpting claims is as thin as dental floss.
You hear that? You hear that from the people in the back? Do you hear that in the people in the back? It's fucking fake, okay? So stop fucking doing it, you dumbasses! Sorry, I had to call them out because they're a bunch of dumbass kids, I swear to God. Jesus Christ.
I would never show my face again if a bunch of dentists got together and started roasting me on the timeline. Sorry to this man, but all your peers are saying the science behind your research is bogus. Traditional orthodontic teaching explains crooked teeth mostly through genetics. We inherit the alignment of our bite from our parents, just as we inherit almost any other trait. John Mew does not believe this. Instead, he sees crooked teeth as a symptom of a sweeping, unrecognized health crisis. Changes in our lifestyle and environment since the 18th century are inducing our jaws to grow small and recessed. John Mew was such a non-believer.
They should have put this old man in the box, to be honest. This man spewing nonsense is what I'm hearing.
Of proven dental science, that in 2017, the General Dental Council revoked his dental license due to his criticism of traditional orthodontic treatments as well as his unconventional beliefs and practices.
The jaw should never get small in the first place.
So the most well-known looks maxing technique is all based on old-ass research with no proven science behind it that somehow went viral? Great! We just brain damage maxed. They're not all bad. There are some looks maxing techniques with a touch of science behind why they work. Carrot maxing, where you can get a natural, beautiful golden tan by eating a bunch of carrots. When you eat at least 5 carrots a day, you'll eventually enter into a state called carotenemia. Basically, your liver won't be able to process all the beta-carotene flooding your system that the orange pigments from the carrots ends up showing on your skin.
Just eat 3 large carrots a day. I've been doing this for years. I don't fake tan anymore. I don't.
So you become like Donald Trump.
Don't go out during the day in the sunlight, and this is literally my natural skin color. Pale and pink like Peppa Pig. Trust me.
Hey, a free tan and healthy eyes just by eating carrots? That's better than what the healthcare system be offering these days. Ice maxing involves dipping
It's not bad. It's not bad, but at the end of the day, you know, you become the orange man.
Face into a bowl of ice cold water. The extreme cold is supposed to reduce facial puffiness, treat acne, and give you smooth, tight skin that lets all the cheekbones and jawbones in your face come through. Hey Alexa, can you tell my assistant to bring me a bowl of ice water at 9:09 a.m.? I'm gonna dunk my face into it. Oh, but do it after I dive into the pool at 7:36 a.m. I penciled in landing in the water at 7:40 a.m. The science behind ice maxing is sort of a mixed bag. It does actually reduce puffiness and bags under the eyes, but it's not going to reshape your entire face as some looks maxers like to claim. Ice can definitely boost your skincare routine, but you're going to be disappointed if you think dunking your face in ice water every day is going to clear your acne. And using the same ice roller a famous looks maxer is selling in his bio will give you the same face as them. These are simple beauty routines and beauty hacks women have been doing for centuries, just repackaged into a now for men format.
Icing your face promotes blood flow, which means that there's going to be a lot more oxygen and nutrients flowing through your skin. This helps especially with your eye bag.
Once you get into the sketchier side of looks maxing methods, you'll realize people are just saying whatever at this point. Jump maxing, chew maxing, starve maxing, jelk maxing, goon maxing. How about we Pokemon goon to the polls and therapy max after? Critical thinking skills are at an all-time low. It's not good when people are...
I was about to say, is like, can't you just like technically like just take a like like at the end of your like shower or so, right? If you do take like warm showers in general, why don't you just like, you know, turn it to cold and then just splash your face on it, you know? That was like the one thing I was like, why not just like, you know, just, you don't even like at the end of your shower when you're finished your show, you just turn the water to cold and then just splash your face with the cold water, and then there you go.
Promoting bone smashing as a way to change your facial structure. Nothing more Giga Chad than whacking your face with a hammer to sharpen your chin. Even though every health professional is telling people not to do this, videos with the tag bone smashing tutorial have garnered over 267.7 million views on TikTok.
And then smash my zygos so that they grow. Yes.
Okay. This cannot be normal. Should you pursue bone smashing to get a stronger jaw? I don't recommend hitting yourself in the face with a hammer. The idea here is that the mechanical stress from the blunt trauma is going to build stronger bones, but that's not exactly how this works. Yes, mechanical stressors from walking, for example, do play a vital role in bone strength, but blunt trauma is not the way to get it. That's simply not going to build up stronger bones. Furthermore, this can leave you disfigured, potentially requiring surgeries that cause scarring. Yeah, it can really be a nightmare.
At this point, everyone's gonna—
Wow, a professional medical person tells you not to fucking do it? Wow, how ironic, isn't it, huh?
show up to the function with lumpy faces, looking like a ran through gravel road. There is a whole side of the looks maxing industry that's filled with get-rich-quick schemes by spreading misinformation, usually targeting young men with low self-esteem. These accounts that claim to help you reach your full potential could care less about their audience. You got an insecurity, that's profit for them, and sometimes it'd really be your own people. This teenager was using AI filters to looks max himself into a high-tier Chad Light to sell looks maxing products, which he claims to have sold a lot of because of these beauty filters. Mewing not doing enough for your jawline? Try Chew Cube's Jaw Gum. The pitch is essentially resistance training for your jaw. By chewing on ultra tough pieces of gum every day, you activate the masseter muscle found in the side of your cheek that helps you chew, leading to a more defined jaw. The funny thing about working out muscles, if you paid attention in class, they don't get slimmer the more you use them, they actually get bigger. So these gum chewers are unintentionally bulking up their jaw muscles and looking more bloated with every chew, and are probably on a fast track to developing a case of TMJ. Too much jaw. If we take a look at this—
I didn't know that was a thing, that you can get too much jaw. Really? I did not know that, actually. I didn't know that for a fact. Yeah, that's crazy to hear that, actually.
Brand of hard-ass chewing gum, their website looks pretty legit. But when you scroll down and see who the trusted experts are, it's Mike Mew, the son of John Mew. Remember, the guy who lost his—
It all comes around in full circle, doesn't it, huh? How ironic. The son keeps the legacy still going to this day.
dental license and got bodied by a bunch of lame-ass dentists. I apologize, nothing personal if you're a dentist. Got a lot of trauma from dentists I gotta work through. And not to mention this website using quotes from news articles and labeling them as positive reviews, when in fact, these articles never mentioned the brand once. They just talked about the looks maxing gum trend. TikTokers push facial gum for chiseled jaws. Facial fitness gum is designed to be very hard to chew. Water is wet. Look at this one. Within 5 minutes, my jaw was sore. For how misogynistic and homophobic the looks maxing community can be, I don't know guys, sounds a little oop.
What you said? Queen.
You really can't have a toxic community thrive these days without some sort of figurehead. Oh, and side note, if you made it here after that huge crash course on looks maxing, yay! You probably now have an idea of what someone at the top of the looks maxing food chain would look like, and how they would act. That's where Clavicular comes in, a 20-year-old influencer.
Oh god, I hate this kid, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you actually follow this guy's tips and everything, I'm sorry, but you're a lost cause. I'm sorry, you are. You really are a lost cause because of this.
Who, over the past year, has become as popular as he is divisive.
How old?
I'm 24.
Okay.
26.
Oh.
I'm over here.
When he's not busy saying slurs while streaming on Kick and running people over with his car, he's most known as the looks-maxing final boss.
I would say Sydney Sweeney is very attractive.
I would say that she's pretty malformed. Her upper maxilla is extremely recessed, right? She's got the eyes of doom with no infraorbital support. She's really not that much of a looker in her face. I think that she's above average in looks, but certainly not that, like, you know.
No, you said she's got a sunken suborbital. I forget the words that you said.
Yeah, she's got a recessed infraorbitals and a recessed upper maxilla.
You're telling me you go to a bar.
I'm just saying she's not the pinnacle of looks that I'm talking about to actually succeed on.
Unbelievable, dude, what I'm hearing.
Social media, she's average to above average.
Bro, I don't think this is how real life works. You can't just stand there in silence and mog people like in your selfies. Unfortunately, you do have to talk and use brain when interacting with others, which seems to be working against the perfect image he portrays online.
If you follow him, you will also get banned from every club in Miami and potentially banned across the country. Wow, wait, are you telling me this guy got banned from like every single club in Miami? That's crazy if that is actually true.
No riz, no charm, just regurgitating the same Reddit talking points like they mean anything at all.
Just a 6 out of 10? Really?
Bruh. Maybe even a 6.25. This tan photo.
Also, I'm surprised he just turned 20. I know there's a stereotype of Gen Z looking old. Gen Z is so obsessed with intense beauty rituals, they're trading in their youth for these gaunt, model-esque looking faces.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. No wonder the reason why Gen Z just looks old and then like, what is it? The millennials look younger. That's the funny thing about it, cause Gen Z wants to grow up apparently. Like it's just like, brother in Christ, you guys are gonna age like spoiled milk. That's the sad thing about it, and that's the funny thing about it too as well. While the millennial kids are gonna be the more younger looking ones. Yes, him and the other Red Pill guys, because they played Kanye HHH song in the club. Oh, that's interesting.
Which they might end up regretting in the future when they look 50 at 30. Clavicular was literally a kid not that long ago. He's talked about how both his parents are bodybuilders and how his job as a club bouncer at 17, where he watched how attractive men and women interacted, shaped how he sees men, women, and relationships. Around 16,
oh, that's a bad twisted warp in reality, to be honest. That is a bad thing to look at, to be honest, as a young kid. Yikes, that's awful.
He found his place on looksmax.org, where he became very popular. He claims to have started using steroids as young as 14, and is very open about his use of human growth hormone, along with other substances to help suppress his appetite to stay lean, like ADHD medications he calls a street drug. Let's just say, he's not doing math.
2 weeks ago, I was doing math like pretty much every day, like...
His body is so messed up now, Clavicular can't even produce his own testosterone anymore. The looks
Oh my god. So you're telling me that this guy, his own body can't create natural testosterone, so basically he's a twink. He's a twink, is what he is. Well, he took himself out of the gene pool. Man, that's good, to be honest. We don't need more of him, to be honest. Thank fucking God, you know? We don't need more of him. No, sir. No, sirree. No. We don't need that at the end of the day. I don't want a bunch of little tiny, vesticular, follicular, whatever his name is, you know, walking around, you know? Hey, Shoko.
stuff we talked about before is baby mode compared to what Clavicular does to maintain his appearance.
What drugs do you take in a day? I'm taking testosterone every single day. I take minoxidil for my hair. I take dutasteride for my hair. I take 7.5 milligrams of Accutane a day. I use crystal meth as a stimulant and Tolene Max. It's much more mild than Adderall, actually, and I'm pretty much using meth for hollow cheeks.
What happened to eating healthy and going to the gym 3 times a week?
Bam, facts. Fucking facts, dude. I love this guy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I literally love this dude, to be honest. The club is not the best learning environment to study people under the influence of alcohol. Yeah, especially him being a bouncer at the age of 17 and thinking like, you know, just watching how the guys treat women or so and thinking that's the best way to do it, you know? Yeah, he takes meth in order to lean max.
Is it that serious? With a role model like this, no wonder teens getting into looks maxing are spiking their juice boxes with extra tea before heading to class.
Oh my god. Time and place.
As a 15-year-old, you don't gotta have the sharpest jawline in your macaroni school group project. Collecting all the facial features that make you a Chad isn't gonna make you popular unless you develop proper social skills too, which probably won't happen if you think this is a normal way to talk to people.
So she got 3.5. Why and how can she improve?
Well, her mid face is way too long. Obviously, she's got the jowls coming in, horrible nasolabial folds. You know, horrible total facial width to height ratio, just really bad age indicators, but obviously at 30, that's not something really that's going to surprise me. Her upper maxilla is super recessed, horrible infraorbitals. That's why your under eyes are coming in like hell. Really recessed chin.
Maybe focus on being a kid for a little while longer. Go play Fortnite with your friends.
Unfortunately, these kids wants to be like influencers because sadly, a lot of these kids their specific dream job is to be like a Twitch streamer, a content creator, a YouTube content creator, an influencer. That's the sad thing. That's honestly the sad thing about it, is that kids don't want to be kids anymore. You know, they really don't. Again, I don't know how this man is still free after confessing to doing meth. I know, tell me about it, you know? That's the craziest thing about it. Man doing drugs and literally admitted it out live, you know? What happened to kids just being kids? The problem is this is a Western ideology. That's the problem that I hate. This is the only reason why I don't like certain Western ideology. There's certain things that I like or so, and then there's certain things that I don't personally like. This is definitely one of these specific ones that they want to be an influencer. They want to be like, you know, or they have that mentality, like, you know, they have that self insecurity inside of them. They're like, oh, you know, I don't get all these hot babes and everything like that and all this other shit, you know. You know the funny thing about it? None of this shit even existed during my time of going like high school to this side of the dimension. Nobody fucking cared, you know? You had the jocks dating the cheerleaders. You had these people dating these people. You have these people dating those people. And that's basically it, you know? That's it. Nobody was trying to do looks maxing. Everyone looked normal, right? Like there were statuses, right? Like you know, high school is just high school, right? You got the jocks, you got the cheerleaders, you got the goth kids, you got the anime kids, you got the nerdy kids, you got, you know, you basically got, you know, certain stuff like that, right? But nobody literally in the high school was ever doing looks maxing. You know, this concept doesn't exist. This never existed. Everyone was living like a normal life, you know? Even to today, right? To today, where I live specifically, nobody is doing looks maxing. Nobody. Could there be somebody? Yeah, of course there might be maybe one or two instances, right? But generality, like overall, there's nobody that's doing that over here. I don't see a guy or a kid or so. I'm gonna say a kid because you're all kids at the end of the day, right? I'm older than all you guys, so I can give two fucking shits. These are kids or so. I haven't seen a single kid trying to like define their jawline or like doing any of that sort of nature. Nobody's doing that. Even when I went to the gym or so like 2 years ago, nobody was doing that either. There was no kid that was like trying to like work out or so, right? In order to get the like that jawline definition. Nobody was doing that. Everyone was just kind of like working out peacefully, hanging out, having some good times, getting to know one another, working out, getting a workout buddy together, and all this other shit in general. That's basically is what it was. None of this really actually like happened, you know?
I'll even buy you some V-Bucks. Just Put down the selective androgen receptor modulators, bro. SARMs are super common within the looks maxing community.
Your
They
mom's a
think it's
looks
some sort of
maxer.
cheat code that helps them masculine max all their features. These are chemical substances that mimic the effects of testosterone and anabolic steroids that pretty much anyone can buy from unregulated websites. It's actually illegal in the US to sell SARMs for human use, so companies resort to calling them peptides instead. Gives them some plausible deniability that they're being sold for research purposes only. And of course, these aren't approved by the FDA, who set a warning back in 2017 that using these can increase the risk of heart attack, stroke, and life-threatening reactions like liver damage. Clavicular doesn't really tell his audience to follow what he does because of how extreme his methods can be, but he does contradict himself a lot with his actions. Like when he did a little peptide top-up on his girlfriend's face to looks max her.
That's the worst thing. That's the worst thing to see, is getting your girlfriend to do this, to be honest. This is just terrible.
Who was a minor at the time.
Chat, we're looks maxing her. We're looks maxing her. It's all good.
We're the parents. We need an adult. Girl, if you don't get out of that boy's room and go play with Polly Pockets, let's go get our ears pierced at Claire's. My treat. You know, it really is that damn phone causing everyone to be chopped in the head. Spending all your time online or farming doesn't automatically translate to charismatic, magnetic person in real life. You're gonna turn yourself into the guy standing in the corner at a party, villain monologuing. Disgusting. These subhuman normies. They don't even know I'm a Chad Light with hunter eyes. Intimidated? Of course you are. It's not every day you're graced with seeing a level 5 PSL high tier normie. My name is Patrick Bateman. I'm 27 years old. I believe in taking care of myself and a balanced diet and rigorous exercise routine. Alright, who invited the psycho? Wanting to improve your physical appearance to look your best?
I feel like that is such a psychotic mentality, to be honest. I feel like that really is. Like, honestly, just generally just thinking like that completely 24/7 like that, and making and using these words that are just literally just made up and everything. It's such a psychotic behavior.
Is normal behavior. I mean, we got eyes for a reason. But if looks maxing becomes your one and only personality trait, yikes. Don't think it's worth turning into a hot person if you're gonna be left with worms for brains, whose only interests are chewing blocks of rubber and bone smashing. Let's Pokemon go outside, Max, and stop listening to weirdos on the internet.
Thank
Have a
God,
good day,
yes.
try not to be dumb, and see you in the next one.
Amen. Amen on that, to be honest. Honestly, I would say this much. It's terrible, to be honest. Honestly, it's I feel sorry for the Gen Z people, to be honest. Definitely, it's definitely a subgroup of Gen Z people that are doing this. I am chopped, but I am free. It really is giving. What do women themselves want? We ask a man. The way so many men believe women aren't attractive to feminine-looking men is crazy. Yeah, I'm like, femboys and traps exist, you know? Nah, not my generation. Yeah, it is your generation. Get your generation under control, Shoko. We don't claim them. Not men literally hitting themselves in the face with blunt objects instead of going to therapy. This is some kind of mass psychosis. As a woman, we think this is a big loser energy. Amen, girl. Amen. There you go. I'll give you a thumbs up for that one, to be honest. Some people will only learn the hard way to look good. Won't make you desirable in the long term if your personality reeks. Yep. Summary of the VOD: looks max to your heart content. Your mom's gonna looks max hard to your heart's content. Children in the 90s watched the bro like this named Johnny Bravo. We all laughed at his nonsense, but you weren't supposed to act like him, which was the point of the show. Good old Johnny Bravo, not gonna lie, good show, to be honest. Yeah, you're not supposed to be like him, you know? It just kind of proves that, like, it's not all about the looks, you know? Give enough time, humanity will reinvent eugenics and phrenology. Guess we are back in the Victorian era. I don't think the BTS stands would accept the idea of that Asian men aren't attractive, lol. Whenever I see looks masters, I give myself a second, remind myself that they would fail on Tumblr, and then I draw another OC with a smile lines. Yeah. Honestly, at the end of the day, he's right. He's 100% correct. Great channel, honestly. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed to him, you should, to be honest. Great guy, honestly. Just well informed at the end of the day. But overall, specifically, looks maxing is not the way to go. Do not do that. Do not follow these weirdo people on the internet. They're definitely not the people that you should be following. especially clavicular. That's the guy you should least be hearing, or any in general. You know, just do the normal shit. You know, take care of yourself. Go to the gym. You know, three times a week. You know, eat healthy. You know, get a change your diet. You know, get a different facial routine. You know, try something different. You know, get a different hairstyle. You know, just do what you can do. Different clothing and everything. It's just, it is what it is. Just work on yourself, you know? Frogs are no cold. Ignore your mom. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Anyways, but yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video. And honestly, if I see people commenting or so of these looks maxers, you're just gonna prove me correct at the end of the day. You're just kids. You're just kids at the end of the day, you know? It just proves me right that you guys are a bunch of kids who were just self-conscious, and I'm just gonna sit back and make fun of you all the time, so. Why? Because you need to grow out of that mentality at the end of the day. So anyways, that's the end of the video, and peace. Yeah, most people don't need to get that plastic surgery or anything else. Just learn how to take care of their skin. A lot of people don't like to do that, to be honest.